Hello, I am Dylan, and I am not watching the opening ceremony of the Olympics. Nope, I'm down here in my basement, getting ready to talk about comics. It's a brand new comic haul. Pageantry. My lovely shirt. Eh? How's about that? I know I will not be having any viewers live because you are all watching the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, and normally I would be too because my friends, the Snark Alex, we like to snark, and I've been reading it. There's some really, really good ones right now, but is late. My wife and I and the kids just came back from an hour-long pokey hunt slash free concert fest. There's a free concert fest up the street from here every Friday, so we were hanging out there, got some ice cream, hung out with some of our friends, and now I'll come back and just run down some last-minute things before we shut down for the day, for the weekend, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's 10 o'clock. I'm tired. Anyway, this is the Comic Haul. What is a Comic Haul? A Comic Haul is every week I've been trying to do this. I've been doing pretty good so far since May, I think, actually. I've been doing this for about a couple months now. I'm actually surprised about how long I've been doing this, which is good. I think I've been doing it longer than the last time I did this. Anyway, I'm a big comic book fan. I have my own show called Dylan Knows. It's on Saturday or Sunday, depending on my choice. Just follow my Twitter at Holodill or at Dylan Proco. You'll have all the locations of when it is. One of my shows just talks about comic books. Me and my friend MJ Khan. We may or may not have one this week, or it might be moved to 2 weeks from now. I haven't decided yet. And anyway, but I also do this one. I try to do it on Wednesdays when I can, but financially, sometimes I wait till Friday to buy my comics. There's a really good comic book store right up the street from my house. The owner of it is the guy who runs the Baltimore Comic Con. So it's kind of cool, good place. They know me pretty good. I've been going there for, going on 12 years now. So they should know me pretty good by now. Anyway, what I basically talk about is the main reason I do this show is to try to get as many people as I can to get out and get into comic book stores. And actually, this is a prime weekend for it because a comic book movie comes out this week. It is the week of August 3rd. Today is August 5th. And today, Suicide Squad comes out. Now, I haven't been a big fan of the DC Universe movies, live action. If you've been watching my Dylan No show, you would know me and my friend MJ Khan, my co-host MJ Khan, we pretty much trash them because they haven't been that good. But Wonder Woman looks good next year. But Suicide Squad has always been an interesting cast or idea, storyline, and a story and idea. And so they decided to do a movie, and it's starting to get ravaged by critics. But even fans of it are all saying the same thing. They're saying it's badly edited, and it could have been a whole lot better than it was. So we'll see. Anyway, this is the opportune time this weekend to go to the comic book store because they're saying right now that it's going to make a ton of money. They say it's going to make, I think they've got it jetted at $125 million opening weekend, which is going to be more than Guardians of the Galaxy, which they're going to keep jumping on. But here's the catch. How's it going to go the second week? Because, everybody's wants to see Suicide Squad early, and they're going to go see Suicide Squad. And then week 2 is going to drop to 60 million. Maybe. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it could very possibly drop down to 80 to 60 million and then drop even further as we get close to the end of summer. And it's not even going to come close to Guardians of the Galaxy's final total. But it's just funny watching the people talking about how excited that the DC comics are going to have the new record for August opening, stuff like that, beating Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, you are, but I don't really see you beating their total gross record, which is what you really want to focus on if you want to be successful. But as I said, I don't have any ill will towards it. It's well, I have some ill will towards it, but that's besides the point. I talked about it on my show a couple weeks ago, so we're not going to deal with it now. But that's right. But basically, my point is, you go to the movie this weekend. I mean, it's a little late now. I mean, tonight you can't go to the comic book store, but tomorrow or Sunday, if you go to the movies and you say, hey, you know what? I want to learn more about the Suicide Squad. We'll go to the comic book store and pick up some Suicide Squad stuff. There's some good older Suicide Squad stuff written by John Ostrander out in trade paperbacks, which is the definite best one. The New 52 one I haven't been a big fan of, and the Rebirth one I haven't read yet, but I may very well soon, as you will see today. we'll see what happens. But the main point is to get people to go to comic book stores. So go out there, go out there and just investigate your local comic book store and see what they got. You might actually surprise yourself and find something you really, really enjoy. It's not just superheroes anymore. It's all kinds of stuff. And you'll see some of the stuff I got coming up in here. There's horror, there's action, there's drama, there's kids, there's family-friendly stuff in the comics now. Yeah, of course, there's the superheroes if you want the superheroes. And they got... most places will probably have toys and trades and posters and maybe baseball card stuff and gaming stuff. It all depends. So go to your local comic store, just check it out. If you go see Suicide Squad this week, go get some Harley stuff, Harley Quinn stuff. Go get some Joker stuff. Go get some Suicide Squad stuff. Just go, okay? Just go to your comic book store and just buy comics. So the main reason why I'm doing this show is so that I can show you what kind of comics they are offering nowadays. And these are the ones that I buy. Now, this is just a small sampling. There's always a ton more that are out, and I don't buy because I don't read them, I don't follow them, I don't have the damn money to do it. I don't even have the damn money really to pay for these, but you know what? I'm still doing it because I'm going to try to. But that being said, this is the Comic Haul, and this is what's coming out the week of August 3rd, 2016, the Suicide Squad week. Speaking of Suicide Squad, if you go, as I said, if you go see the Suicide Squad movie and say, you know what, I'd like to read some comics with the Suicide Squad, well, take a look at this. How fortuitous. Suicide Squad Rebirth #1 comes out today, or came out this week. The #1 issue probably be out in about a month or so. I don't think this one's bi-weekly. I really don't think it is because... yeah, no, it is twice monthly beginning August. So you'll see this, you'll see the actual #1 in 2 weeks. What's interesting about Suicide Squad is it's not in this issue, but in the regular series, Jim Lee is going to be doing the art for one of the weeks. So you'll be getting some fresh Jim Lee artwork. And there's a cover. It's a pretty good cover. And then you got Philip Tan, I think, who does the artwork for this one. And he did the cover here. It's a pretty interesting one because it looks like the Suicide Squad here is Harley, Deadshot, Katana, and Killer Croc, which coincidentally enough are characters in the movie. Holy cow, really. This one is wait a second, where are you? See, there's actual movie ad for the comic, and there's what the comic looks like. The creative team behind this is Rob Williams is the writer, Philip Tan is the penciler, Jonathan Glapion, Scott Hanna, and Sandu Floria are the inkers. So you've got the Suicide Squad movie coming out. You've got the Suicide Squad comic out for Rebirth, which is a resetting of the Suicide Squad universe with Captain Boomerang's in there as well, and all these different characters. And it's a very interesting premise, and hopefully we'll keep it up. Philip Tan's artwork is very reminiscent of Jim Lee, so... Hey, talk about going to comic book store. Here's some Suicide Squad stuff you can pick up if you're interested. So go ahead, check that out as well. So it's pretty good. And then this is going to be probably the cover to the first issue coming out in 2 weeks. I guess Jim Lee did the cover on that one. So you'll get some Jim Lee artwork and Philip Tan. Him and Jim Lee will be jumping off. As I said, Philip Tan did the artwork for us, and it looks very Jim Lee-esque. So I'd go for it. I'm still not a big fan of Deadshot's armor in this, and I'm not a big fan of how they're writing Harley nowadays, but nah, what do I know? Speaking of Harley, Harley does not get the Rebirth because her series has still been very successful. Amanda Conner, Jimmy Palmiotti are the writers of it, and Mr. Harden, I forget his first name, Glenn Harden, I think, is the artist. And no, it's Chad Harden. And so guess what? Harley Quinn #1's out this week too. So hey, another coincidence, because Harley Quinn is pretty much the main character in Suicide Squad. Harley Quinn is one of the biggest characters in the DC Universe now. She's slowly become one of the biggest characters in the DC Universe, and now she's got her own book again, written by Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti. You can't go wrong with that, and Chad Harden. So if you enjoyed her book in the New 52, it's really no different, to be honest. You know, you get some nice gratuitous TNA because that's how they roll. Because Harley and Poison Ivy are awesome, and I love my TNA, right? And so you know, you get a little origin of reboot of her origin. And you figure it out, and you've got the Palmiotti, Amanda Conner humor in the books, and it's Harley Quinn. And Chad Hardin's a fairly pretty good artist when it comes to stuff like this. So, if you like the regular series, then you would probably enjoy this. So, there we go. So that's Harley Quinn #1 is out. So coincidentally, Suicide Squad movie comes out this week. Suicide Squad Rebirth and Harley Quinn are both out this week. So they're both #1s. This is just the Rebirth, the setup for the new book coming out in 2 weeks. I think Harley Quinn's a monthly, so you'll see this issue #2 will be next month. I could be wrong again. I don't know if she's bi-weekly. It doesn't say. So we will see. I don't see any ads for Harley in the comics. So Suicide Squad Rebirth and Harley Quinn. So those are going to be your 2 picks if you want to. If you enjoyed the Suicide Squad movie, you probably should go to the comic book store like right after you see it and go get those books and read it. And then go and get the trades and read those. And guess what? You're going to be hooked on comics. And then I did my job. So Rebirth's still going strong and probably will be. It's actually going through September, I believe. So we got a bunch of other books that have already started their runs, including this one, Nightwing, was on issue #2 right now. Again, this is a variant cover, I think. There are, I think, 2 covers for every book, including the Harley and the Suicide Squad one. I think they have some separate cover. They have another cover also if you like those. But Nightwing is written by Tim Seeley with art by Javier Fernandez. And Nightwing is back. And Javier's artwork is really, really good and really interesting. And good, interesting story coming up with that. Tim Seeley's good writer, has been writing Dick for a while, so he knows Dick's voice pretty good. And so hopefully we're going to get some good Nightwing stories. I mean, we already have from Tim. Hopefully we'll get some more. So check that out. Whew. This is the variant cover of Justice League #2. The main reason why is because I like Yannick Paquette's version of Wonder Woman, and on this cover is glorious. And so I thought, well, you know what? It's just a picture of Wonder Woman. It's not really the Justice League. Let me see what the regular cover is. The regular cover has Green Lantern, like I think Batman, and one other superhero in it. So it's just them attacking somebody. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and get this. This is Justice League #2. Justice League is written by Brian Hitch, art by Tony Daniel, with inks by Sandu Floria. I love Tony Daniel's artwork, and Justice League is pretty good, especially with the Green Lanterns on the team. And it's a good. They're going for the crazy worldwide catastrophe thing that only the big DC heroes can take care of. So good stuff. So that's just, and I said, a lot of these places also don't get frustrated or worried if it's issue #2. Should I buy it? Am I going to be behind? A lot of stores, because Justice League is bi-weekly, a lot of stores will probably still have issue #1 and the Rebirth #1 probably still in stock, because they probably bought a ton of them to get the other variants. Because you get the 2 variants you can get, but then you get special variants where you can jack the price up and sell them as back orders. You can sell them for like 25, 30, $50, depending on what kind of variant you get. So go to your local store and you might be surprised, especially with Rebirth. They're trying to get new readers in, so they probably your comics were probably ordered heavy on the books, and they're probably still in stock there. Now, I can't talk for all stores. My store, that's what they do. They keep at least 2 to 3 months worth of the old books still up on their shelf until they run out of stock. Obviously, they run out of stock. I don't think they reorder anymore. They might reorder a couple and put their back order stuff, depending on what they have in back order. But if you are missing a few issues, I think it's 2 or 3 months that they go ahead. You can go ahead and pick them up as well. It helped me when I did my 9-month sabbatical from comics. When I went back in, I was able to pick up a lot of stuff to get caught up on. So this might be Justice League #2, But if you go to your comic book store, you might be able to find Justice League #1 and Justice League Rebirth #1. And I recommend you at least check to see if you can do that. And that way you can get them all and read them all at one time. People, why not? People, they go on Netflix and they watch full seasons of TV shows in one sitting. Why can't you do that for your comics, you know? And it's better for you. It's reading and artwork. This book has been absolutely amazing. Green Lanterns #4. It's one of the only ones that I'm reading consistently. I love the story that they're doing. Sam Humphries is writing it. In this case, the pencils are by Ed Benes, Robson Roca, and Tom Derenick, with inks by Rob Hunter, Mark Irvin, and Vincente Cifuentes, Jay Leaston, Tom Palmer, and Mark Deffring. Now, you got to do something like that when you're bi-weekly, because it's going to be real hard for artists to try to keep up and keep up with the 2-week process. But Simon Baz is a Muslim, and he is actually slowly becoming a really cool Green Lantern because he's got all kinds of really cool powers. Then there's Jessica, who was a shut-in, agoraphobic, who has come out and is still kind of a rookie, and they are both discovering that they each have different powers than they're used to. And the two of them have to work together to be partners. And that's the whole point of them, of the story, is to have them, they're both kind of rookies. Simon's doing a little bit longer, so he's the veteran. He's like, I don't need this. And Jessica's the true rookie, but Simon's still technically a rookie. And of course, the first group they're taking on is the Red Lanterns, which makes me very excited, because it means all the Lanterns are still back, including my buddy LaFlee's here. This is the Orange Lantern, though I need to get a new one. See, it's all shredded back there. So Green Lanterns is really, really good. And this is issue 4. And I hope your store might have some of that stuff, because I highly recommend it. And I highly recommend the Rebirth, and I highly recommend the previous 3 issues. They should have them. So go check it out. Go on my recommendation. Go check out Green Lanterns. You really like it. And once again, you don't need to know all the history and stuff like that. They spell it out pretty good, especially with the Rebirth there is. It's DC Comics. There are 3 characters synonymous with DC Comics. I already showed you the cover with Wonder Woman. Here's another one, Batman. Wonder Woman comic is going to be out next week, so we'll be able to see the Wonder Woman comic next week, which is really good too. Batman #4 is written by Tom King. Pencils by David Finch, inks by Sandra Hope and Matt Banning. So I'm actually surprised that David Finch is actually working pretty good in the bi-weekly book, because I don't think he's had a excuse me. I don't think he's had a break yet. So, but Batman has 2 new superheroes who want to help out in Gotham, but things aren't going as good as you think. And it just got looking through this, looks like Batwing might be in town. So that's kind of interesting to see him in there. But say what you might about David Finch, he still draws a pretty good Batman, and he's pretty good character-wise like that. So, and hey, look at that. It's Amanda Waller and Batman. And there's a scene from Suicide Squad in that as well. So, hey, look at that. Another connection to the Suicide Squad. Again, ooh, wow. Again, you might be able to get caught up on the Batman books. I haven't actually read the new Batman yet, but it looks good, and I'll probably do that maybe this weekend when I get some free time, because I've been doing a pretty good job of keeping up with my comics. Speaking of keeping up with comics, and then the third DC Comics superhero that's synonymous with DC Comics, Superman. This has been an amazing book. This is the variant cover. This has been an absolutely amazing book also. Patrick Gleason and God, why do I keep forgetting his name? Peter Tomasi are doing a fantastic job, and Gleason is doing the artwork on top of co-writing it also. And he's also got Doug Mahnke helping him out when he can. And it's the return of the pre-New 52, pre-Flashpoint Superman and his son Jonathan, and Superman's married to Lois, and everything's it's complicated, but definitely need to go pick up. And I can't ignore Mick Gray, who's the anchor. go to the comic book store. You should be able to get caught up on this. If I had recommendations, get caught up on Superman, get caught up on Wonder Woman, get caught up on Green Lanterns, and get caught up on really any of them, to be honest. But Superman #4, as I said, Peter Tomasi, Patrick Gleason, telling a very interesting story. I'm dying to see Phil Jimenez as Supergirl or Superwoman. So it should be interesting. And so a good series, as I said, keeps getting better. And definitely check it out. This is the variant cover on it. So Superman #4. Love it. That's the last of the DCs. What I probably need to do is I need to start getting into Marvel again, because I haven't really been reading that many Marvels, and there's some good Marvels out there, but they're enmeshed in this Civil War stuff, and I was like, we'll see. But I got a couple of good stuff here, and I'm still getting stuff from Civil War. In this case, the first book from Marvel this week that I'm going to talk about is Kingpin #2. I just love this cover. It's just such a great cover. While the superheroes are fighting each other, Kingpin is consolidating the villains and working to get the villains to take over the cities. It's written by Matthew Rosenberg with art by Ricardo Lopez Ortiz. And, it's got kind of a cartoony type of artwork to it, but you know what? It's Kingpin. Kingpin's been fairly popular in the Netflix Daredevil series. So this is a book just basically focused on the Kingpin, and it makes a lot of sense. He's trying to take over, or consolidate the villains while the superheroes are fighting each other. It makes a lot of sense. So it's Kingpin #2. Civil War 2, Kingpin #2 is out. So that's the only Civil War one I think I bought this week. A non-Civil War one, but just as timely, is Vote Loki #3. You thought it was bad with Trump and Clinton. Well, add Loki to that, and maybe he would be doing a better job. It's written by Christopher Hastings with art by Langdon Foss, and it's one of those books that it's very present day, very contemporary, current event type of thing. So there's going to be a lot of humor about current events and stuff like that. So, you may as well check it out now. If you like Tom Hiddleston's Loki, just picture him being president of the United States. So just fantastic. It's a Vote Loki #3. Punisher #4, Becky Cloonan and Steve Dillon. Becky Cloonan is writing the hell out of this book, and Steve Dillon, who's no stranger to the Punisher, is doing his fairly bang-up job doing the Punisher stuff. It is hugely violent, and again, connected to the Daredevil appearance that Punisher had in Daredevil season 2. This brings back the Punisher that we all know and love, going out and brutally killing people, bad guys who deserve it, and stuff like that. So Punisher #4 is out this week too. And another good one that's got a lot of artists in this one is Moon Knight #5, written by, it's all white, so there we go. Moon Knight #5, written by Jeff Lemire, with art by Greg Smallwood, Wilfredo Torres, Francesco Francavilla, and James Stokey. So it's just, Moon Knight is one of those interesting, really interesting characters. Supposedly is going to have a show on Netflix also, which it makes a lot of sense. And just showing you the different types of art styles. So there's a lot of different things as it looks like they're going through. Here's Francesco Francavilla. As they're going through, it looks like Moon Knight's mind. Jeff Lemire is writing the hell out of this series. So, it's fantastic. And highly recommended. So check it out. It's going to continue after this. Yeah. So yeah, it is. Okay, good. So this is the tail end of Jeff Lemire's first storyline. So check it out, Moon Knight #5. Looks pretty good to me. I got, as I said, I got to get into Marvel and get some reading caught up because that Moon Knight looks fantastic. Again, go to your local comic book store. I don't think they'll have 1 through 4 there. They might have 3, 4, maybe 2, 3, and 4 if you're lucky. But you know what? Marvel's also notorious for releasing second printings, and sometimes stores like to get the second printings because they've got variant covers. And they also do something that I did a couple weeks ago where they release like a comic that has, for like $4 or $5, 3 issues in it. So it actually, the first 3 issues of the comic, so you get caught up that way. So that's a good way to do it. So that's it for Marvel. The book of the week that I was so glad I was able to pick up, because I didn't think I was going to be able to, because I thought it was going to sold out, because it's already sold out at Diamond. But we're doing the independents now. Animosity #1. This is the book of the week. Aftershock has been doing a hell of a job with their comics, and this one is no different. Marguerite Bennett is a fantastic writer, and she's writing this one. So Marguerite Bennett's writer, Rafael de la Torre is the artist, and basically it takes the, I guess, like the premise of Zoo, where the animals are evolving, or rather taking over the earth, and so it's going up against animals are starting to turn against humans and attacking them and killing them, and they're talking to them and trying to control them. So you get talking animals, violence, tigers eating people. So artwork is phenomenal, and Marguerite Bennett is an amazing talent. And what the heck is this? Oh, they got like another one of these, like 10 pages of ads. Come on, man. But looks really, really good. Animosity #1. Pick this up. It looks phenomenal, and I cannot wait to read this. I'm going to read this tomorrow, probably. For those who don't know, Aftershock does such books as Insects, which is another Marguerite Bennett one, but it's highly sexually charged, more for grown-ups. Black Eyed Kids is one that I read. If you've been following the comic call, I've been talking about that. I also read Rough Riders, which is basically the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but in a different take on it, and not written by an insane guy named Alan Moore. So Aftershock's doing really good with a lot of stuff. They are a comic company that the Insects, which is highly sexually charged, is also written by Marguerite Bennett, deals with lesbian insect women creatures. So it's pretty cool. There's also other books that they've done that have come and gone that focus on gay people, transgender. So go to your comic book store and check those out also. What do you got to lose? Now, I'm a Doctor Who kind of newbie. I only got into it a couple years ago, and I've only seen the first series with the 9th Doctor, the first, second, and third 10th Doctor series, a portion of the 4th Doctor of the 4th series of the 10th Doctor, and none of the 11th or 12th Doctor. I want to get to them and catch them. I just, once again, time is coming out. It's hard to find. So there's comic books for those that Titan Comics, which is set in London, does. Now, there was a spin-off of Doctor Who called Torchwood. Torchwood is no longer on the air, but there's talks that they might be trying to bring it back in some form or another down the line. But Torchwood featured a character from the Doctor Who new series, Captain Jack. Not Captain Jack Sparrow. Captain Jack, I forget what his last name is, but he's Captain Jack. And he has become basically immortal and is running Torchwood, which is basically like an X-Files unit that goes around and solves bizarre cases that the Doctor might not be able to take care of. And Captain Jack is the one who's in charge of it. So John Barrowman, who's the actor who played Captain Jack, said, you know what, I want to write some more. I want to write some Torchwood books. And yet Torchwood #1 from Titan. So yeah, see, there he is. There's the man himself, Torchwood. I think it's available on Netflix. So if you've never seen Torchwood before, you might want to check it out. It's written. Ooh, that's a nice cover. I'll show you in a second. It's written by John Barrowman, as I said, and Carol Barrowman, with art by Antonio Fuso and Pasquale Gualano. Gorgeous artwork. Fantastic. And Captain Jack is a lot more fun than the Doctor. He also happens to be basically every sexual, bisexual, heterosexual. He has sex with whatever or anything. Alien sexual. He'll fuck aliens. He'll fuck men. He'll fuck women. It doesn't matter. He'll fuck everything because that's Captain Jack. But with Torchwood, you get a bunch of different, if you've never read Torch or never seen Torchwood, they introduce the characters, and it's basically Captain Jack taking them on journeys to figure out, what's going on with all these supernatural events and taking them out. So Torchwood #1 came out today. There's some, I guess this is the cover. This is #2. Yes, the cover is #2. Here the cover's #1, I think. So if you don't like this cover, there's a whole bunch of other covers also. Titan's pretty good about doing multiple covers also. My store had a bunch of these also. I like this cover, so I went with this one. So it's Torchwood, #1. It's a #1, as I said, and if you've never seen Torchwood before, it's probably very self-explanatory. If you have seen Torchwood, well, there you go. You get some more true Torchwood stories written by Captain Jack himself, John Barrowman. I almost didn't pick this one up, but the pedigree behind it is fantastic. They've done a lot of really good work before. It is a #1. I looked through it. I was like, you know what? I kind of want a noir-ish book because I got a whole bunch of other stuff. Because, hey, look, as I mentioned before, comics aren't just superheroes. I showed you the superheroes, but then we've got talking animals, kind of horror, sci-fi, Torchwood, supernatural, horror, sci-fi, and now we get Kill or Be Killed, which is more of a crime, thriller, drama type of thing, written by Ed Brubaker with art by Sean Phillips, who have done Criminal and a bunch of other really good stuff as well. So it's not going to be any different than that. It's going to be brutal, vicious, noirish, because that's what Ed Brubaker does best, and Sean Phillips' artwork fits in perfectly with that as well. And the character's name is Dylan. So you gotta love that. So the main character's name is Dylan. Why not? So looks like he's an assassin of some kind, but it looks like there might be some sort of paranormal aspect to it too. So that's what I think kind of drew me in. But Sean Phillips' artwork is amazing. The main character of Dylan, name being Dylan, and just Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' pedigree sold me, and I'll pick it up and I'll let you know if a Kill or Be Killed #1 is out this week too. So if you like those books, check that out. If you want something different besides comics or superhero comics, check that also. Finally, here's the last book for the Comic Call, and then I'm going to get out of your face. Again, similar to, it's not quite your usual comic book. This is from Image Comics, Midnight of the Soul #3. Howard Chaykin is one of the more famous artists of our time. Very distinct art style. He's also a very interesting writer. Uses violence and sex to his end as well, if he needs to. Draws beautiful women. Basically drew a porno comic in the name of Black Kiss, but this one is more of a road type of movie about a guy, a former soldier, riding a motorcycle through Route 66 or whatever, and just getting involved with cases and stuff like that. So it's gorgeous artwork, and if you want more Howard Chaykin stuff, there's Black Kiss, told you the pornographic one. Century West sounds interesting. I might want to check that out. And Satellite Sam is really good also. So Midnight of the Soul #3, it's Howard Chaykin. If you know Howard Chaykin, you know what you're getting into. If you don't know Howard Chaykin, get into the book. It is very similar to Kill or Be Killed. It's very noirish. It's very brutal. And it's very kind of grown up. So that's it for this week. That's the Comic Call. go to your comic book store, go see Suicide Squad if you want to, then go to your comic book store afterwards, pick up some Suicide Squad books, or say, you know what, let me think of something else and try something different. DC's got plenty of new Rebirth books out. Marvel's been releasing new #1s all the time, and they get new their trades out all the time also. So if you want to get caught up, you buy the trade, you buy the other issues on the wall or in the back issue bins, and talk to the people who work there. The majority of them know what they're doing, and they'll gladly give you recommendations. Not all comic book stores are dirty, disgusting places like they were back in the 80s and 90s. A lot of them are clean, crisp, clear, professional, big time stores, and they're all over the place. If you want to find a comic book store local to you, go to the comic book locator service. Type in that into your search engine. It should take you to the comic book locator service. It should take you to the website or do some searching for it, but that's basically you type in your zip code and it'll give you all the comic book stores within like a 20 or 30 mile radius of you. So, and I know a bunch of them around me. I got one right down the street from me. There's a really good one in Annapolis. There's one in Towson I know of, I've never been into. There's one in Cockeysville. And I think there's a couple other ones down in Baltimore I don't know that much about. But other than that, that's all I got for this week's The Comic Haul. Next week, we'll probably get some more Rebirth #1s, some other maybe #1 books. We'll get a new Wonder Woman will be coming out. Maybe a new Flash will be coming out also. And Hal Jordan, I think, will be coming out also. So we got some good stuff coming out. I don't know exactly what else is coming out from the other people, but we'll find out. And it'll either be Wednesday or Friday again here for the Comic Haul. And enjoy yourself. Hope you're enjoying your Olympic opening ceremonies. Nobody watched live. Catch us up on the flip side when I post it later on. And go to your comic book store. You know, it's going to be brutally hot on the East Coast tomorrow, and some storms. Go in, get some comic books to read. A lot of people go on a vacation, buy a bunch of comics or some trades and read them on vacation. It'll be worth it. All right, take care, and we will see you next time on The Comic Haul. I'm Dylan Lang. Watch me for a new Dylan Knows sometime this weekend, probably Sunday, 12:30. Don't know what I'm doing yet, okay?